it's part of my culture. But I wanted to be a ska boy. I had a little job, packing shelves, and with the remuneration from the job, I was going to buy a Crombie. And I knew the sister of the top ska boy, so she, with a little bit of pretty please with cherry pie on top, got me in. Just on the cusp of getting the Crombie and joining the ska guys. The ska boys metastasized into heavy metal guys. And I just went off to McCarthy's and bought myself a West German Army parka with the ubiquitous West German flag on the sleeve. I had that when I joined my first band. I had it when I went looking for Gavin Hennessy. I had it when I joined Midway, and then on to Interference. When I taught Killian Murphy, he had exactly the same one, identical. We have a new series called In Search of Hades 2 to 4. We have In Search of Hades 2, which is Bandersnatch, 3, which is Opus Zero, and 4, which is Vitruvian. And we have inextricable links to Tangerine Dream by virtue of Konrad Schnitzer, who was in the first incarnation of Tangerine Dream with Edgar Froese and Klaus Schulze on drums. This was the pre-synth incarnation as already iterated, but the magnum opus of the Tangerine Dream, the seminal lineup, and one of the greatest bands in history. And when the West Germans did it right, they did it right. With Edgar Froese, Peter Baumann, and Christoph Franke. And not only is that a subjective one, John Peel was absolutely encaptivated by them. And we were in the epoch of the 50th anniversary of Phaedra, one of the greatest albums that they've produced. Again, I don't listen to Tangerine Dream all day. If I were a rich man, I probably would. But when they recorded the album in the manner with those very early Moog synths, and again, working stochastically, Christoph Franke conjured magic with those with the synth patterns, and that became like their staple. And also those incredible concerts at the Croydon in the Fairfield halls, and just conjuring magic. Again, you know, I'm kind of interested quite a bit in concept as opposed to the melodies. Again, a lot of their stuff was arbitrary. They were kind of extemporizing and kind of working on the fly. They had a kind of a reservoir of stuff that they could use, a kind of a palette of techniques that they could employ, various synth zones, bass zones, patterns, rhythmic patterns, etc., etc. And they could utilize all these things to kind of make their music. And again, I don't listen to them all day long, but I do have been affected by them. And they are an influence, and I have been inspired by them, whether you like it or not. But it is conceptual, as opposed to kind of direct link. The aesthetic is what appeals. And the same with Klaus Schulze, magic stuff on his synth stuff, not virtuoso stuff, but amazing, and it reaches people, and people have been deeply, affected by it, and so we've kind of tapped into that a little bit on the In Search of Hades 2 to 4 series, and kind of tried to kind of expand and expound upon the concept and develop it in other ways. And we've had a little bit of feedback, and you know, it's been nice. And so I just like to kind of introduce the series to you, and I'll put some links below. Perhaps you might buy a few albums from us. Thank you very much for listening.